All right. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Newburyport. Really kind of perfect out there. Hope you're all having a good day. I was just talking with my guest, Ken Irwin. Not too many days like this left, I don't think, here before the cold starts to come in. I know a lot of you are kind of taking the maybe holding off on the heat and all that stuff before we see how long it can last. Mine's already on. My wife made me turn it on, so we are.
Kind of days when you're in school and try to convince the teacher to take you outside.
Oh yes, that's right. And I might as well get right to it. Hey, Ken Irwin, Rounder Records. How are you, Ken? It's been a little while here since we've seen you.
Doing just fine.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Enjoying this weather? This is nice, isn't it?
Hope it keeps up.
Good time of year, isn't it?
Though I guess tomorrow night we're supposed to get a real storm.
Oh,
Knock down
that's
lots
right.
of leaves.
Yeah,
So,
some
enjoy
rain
it while
coming.
we can.
I know. That's it. Does seem to they've been packing that. South Shore got walloped last week too. The Cape and Islands mostly got a pretty bad little nor'easter there. But yeah, you're right. We got some weather coming in tomorrow night, so we know how to deal with that stuff. It's New England this time of year. But how you been? What's going on?
Well, getting excited about this next show coming up on Saturday.
Yes. Why don't you tell everybody about it? Is this a billboard, right? Or no? What do we have here?
Yeah, it's a flyer for
here.
for
Let me
the
hold
show.
it up. I'll hold it up for the show. It's a Saturday night. Here you go. Who do we have on tap? Why don't you tell us all about it?
We have the Whitetop Mountain Band from, of all places, Whitetop Mountain down in Virginia, and features. It's a sort of a family band. Mother plays old-time banjo, and Martha Spencer plays a little bit of everything: fiddle, banjo, guitar, bass, mandolin, and some flat footing.
All right, 8 p.m. showtime. You can get tickets in advance here for $30. Still tickets available? Or
There's still tickets available.
So good. Hop on that if you want to Saturday night out with some live music.
And I do want to mention, because it's not on there, that Martha's going to be giving free clogging lessons at 7:30.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's unique.
So come on down.
Let's get down a little early, huh? How about that? Free clogging lessons.
Yeah.
Have you done one of those?
I've tried.
Yeah.
I do pretty well at Lindy, but clogging is a different thing. I'll try.
So,
She's supposedly a good teacher. She's a great dancer.
All right. So 300 High Street. Get over there. 30. I'm not sure. Usually they're a little more expensive at the door. So get your tickets in advance. Is that the deal on this one, or is it $30?
Yeah, it's like $5 more at the door.
So there you go. Save the money, and there you go. You can get
If
yourself.
you're buying 10 tickets, it amounts to quite a bit.
There you go. It certainly does. 6-piece band. Is that right?
I believe so.
That's what the picture here shows. It's not all. You never know how many you're going to get in a live show, but yeah, this is great. So Institution for Savings. There you go. Good supporters of so many concerts around here. What is the thing that signifies this band more than what makes them unique? I guess is what I'm trying to say. What's the thing that separates them from all the other bands out there?
Well, we've never really had an old-time band. Old-time music is one of several different genres that were blended together by Bill Monroe to foreign bluegrass.
Yeah.
But old-time music has continued on its own. It's Whitetop Mountain Band is one of the most popular dance bands down in Virginia. Plays dances on a regular basis,
Yeah.
as well as touring. It's pretty much the same instruments as bluegrass, of fiddle and banjo, guitar, bass. But the Whitetop Mountain Band does a lot of dancing on stage too, a lot of flat footing or clogging. And the banjo is played in a different way. It's a drop thumb or clawhammer banjo, where you're actually coming down rather than Scruggs style bluegrass instead of coming up, and it has a different sound.
It's kind of an old. It's a different style of music where you kind of have it. It's like a kind of a stirred up pot of. You get a little bit of the folk music in there, but it is its own unique kind of.
Well, it was the folk music for from that area.
Yeah,
and it combined old ballads that were brought over from England and Scotland and Ireland, and fiddle tunes, some of which came from Scotland and Ireland, and then musicians created their own tunes.
Yeah.
And then you threw in a little bit of gospel, and
There you
You
go.
know, it's old time stew. You know, a little bit of everything.
Old time stew.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Very good. Again, we're joined here by Ken Irwin of Ronda Records, getting ready for this big show here Saturday night, the Whitetop Mountain Band. What is it about Virginia? There are so many bands that come from Virginia. It seems like a great music. I mean, this is a great music scene too, but I don't know. It seems like that neck of the woods, that state.
Yeah, Virginia, North Carolina. Yeah,
a lot of that.
And they live Whitetop Mountain. It's one of those that's, you know, a few miles from each. I used to visit one of the people that was sort of a mentor to them, E.C. Ball, and he actually had two addresses. He was in Rugby, Virginia, and Grassy Creek, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And he was right on
Great name.
on the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Estill is an interesting name.
Yes.
He went by E.C. Ball. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I remember going to, it was an off school. I was around UVA, and it was, the kids weren't in school or anything. It was not exactly a crazy time for college kids to be going out and all that. But I remember walking around and just everywhere, it was live music everywhere. All the bars and all the, and it struck me. I was saying, that's pretty cool. And this isn't even when the kids are in school, you know?
Right.
I liked it. I don't know. It was a good vibe there. But anyway, it seems like a good place to grow up and play music. You brought a lot of music with you here today. I'm noticing that. You know, I got some help here. I should introduce them. Tyler Neufeld, Lily DeSette. Hello, guys. We got hands popping in the picture
Yep.
there. You can wave. There you go. We want to listen to some of this stuff. Do you have a set list in mind here? What you wanted to start with?
We have a set list,
All right.
and thought we have two sources we're going to be going from. One is the Whitetop Mountain Band.
This is when I give these guys all the credit.
Right, and the other is Martha Spencer, who's I mentioned before, who
Yep.
writes a lot of songs and is one of the younger members of the group.
Okay.
And so we'll start off with a band tune to give you an idea of the propulsive old time band music that's so good for dancing.
This is what you're going to hear Saturday night. This is kind of the feel for it.
Yeah, a little bit of Sally Ann.
All right. I'm going to have Tyler Neufeld here is going to step in and fire this baby up. There you go. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Well, that'll get you dancing.
Absolutely.
How about that? All right. So that's kind of the feel you get. This is going to be I take it this is one of those shows that's not going to be one where you're really sitting down for much of the night. This is a up on your feet kind of show?
Well, I think there'll be a combination. As you'll hear as we go through,
Yeah.
they do such a variety of musics. It's all sort of tied together. It's all from the tradition. And one of the things that's really nice about this band is that everybody grew up with the music.
Yeah.
It was part of their life. It was, dancing, playing in the household.
This was the family party.
Yeah, it's not like, people learning the music and then trying to go back in time. This is like a continuation of what they were doing.
So what makes you guys as a record label kind of go in this direction? I mean, you have artists that kind of represent pretty much every genre. Is that fair? I mean, it seems like you touch on at least a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot of genres. But I mean, this is definitely unique for a record label to go after an old time kind of bluegrass band like this. What makes you go in that direction or want to go in that direction?
Just heard it and loved it. And one of the things with me in particular was hearing the music in the South where you could see how much of the music played in terms of their daily goings on, the fabric of their lives. Yeah. It was just, so important. And I went to a fiddlers convention quite a few years ago. Yeah. And seeing it live and just seeing the joy and with fiddle contests, there were hundreds of bands that were entering, but they all would just be jamming out in the field.
Fiddle contest?
Yep.
It must be a unique experience.
Well, there are a whole bunch of them going on, and some of them are up 75, 80 years that they've been going on.
When you get a tight band with the strings and the fiddles, there is something very beautiful about that. It's just it's great to go see live, and when you see it live, it brings it to life a little bit more. I think it's kind of a sort of music that's meant to be played, in the barn or at the bar.
Right.
It comes to life a little bit more. I mean, there's great album work in this genre of music too, but it is a great live thing to hear.
It is, and to dance to if you're danceable, yeah, or to watch the dancers, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go in order here with the music because I know you got a lot that you wanted to give people a taste of here. Is this the Tree of Heaven next, or did you? We can bounce around.
No, we actually skipped one here. I mean, I did. No, I guess I changed it. Okay, so I think a lot of people probably saw the series on country music on PBS recently. And there was a fairly significant section on the Carter family who were part of the big bang of country music, recorded in the Bristol sessions and continued recording for years and years. And then the next generation of Carters included June Carter Cash, who married Johnny Cash, and her mother May Bell recorded with Flatt and Scruggs and was very influential on a lot of guitar players for years and years. And Tree of Heaven is a song that sort of has that Carter family feel to it. So you see, it's not quite the standing up and dancing, but anyway, there's a little bit of Tree of Heaven.
All right. Nice harmonies there, huh?
Yep, I think that's probably mother and daughter.
Is that right?
Yep,
that's a cool thing. Yeah, you could. you can really feel the family roots, like you were saying. There's chemistry just from listening to it, and that's Tree of Heaven there, Martha Spencer. So that she writes songs by herself and then goes out with the band. Is that how that works? Or?
Well, she's in 3 or 4 bands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She performs as a trio with her brother and another friend with beautiful Carter family type harmonies, and she has her own band, which is a little bit more bluegrassy.
Yeah.
And there are a couple tunes that were on a record that we're not playing. There's one that just kills me. It's where she sings rockabilly, but I don't think she'll be doing it with this band, so I figured I wouldn't play it today.
What is the? You mentioned family band, and I've seen you got the picture on the flyer here and all that. For somebody who's not familiar with this band, does it seem like there's quite a age range? Are you talking like you got? You said mother-daughter maybe there, and then their
mother-daughter and mother-son too.
Mother-son,
yeah. So you have 3 members of the family. The Martha's father used to be in the band for years, decades, and he unfortunately just passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So his son took over. He'd been playing in the band on and off, and joined full-time.
Interesting.
So it's definitely family.
When I asked you what makes you go in this direction, and you said, I just heard it and liked it. Is that the ultimate test for you? Is that kind of where you're at these days? If I hear something and like it and think it might be fun to go with, we're going to do it?
Often. I have to check. The Belleville Roots series is put on by a committee. Yeah. And so we play things, and if other people like it, then... It must make it easier when you're when you're an established label. It must have been more stressful making those decisions in your younger days, though, when you're trying to, maybe financially things are different. Maybe a few mistakes could really cost you. Is it a little easier now or less stressful? Well, we always tried to keep budgets reasonable. Yeah. And the same thing with our shows with Belleville. Yeah. We try to bring in acts that we can afford and that we think the audience will appreciate, and try to bring a variety. I said this is the first time we've had an old time band. Yeah. We've had bluegrass and Irish and Cajun and Zydeco and roots rock and Western swing, and I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch, but blues. We've just always enjoyed bringing in variety, and it's been one of the things that Belleville Roots has always tried to do, was to bring in high quality and diverse music. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have the a core of people that show up here. Maybe they know a lot of this music. Maybe they're here. Maybe they're big fans of the band, and they say, "Perfect, they're playing in my neck of the woods." I bet you have another group of people that are just curious and say, "You know what? I'm going to try a little something different here. Let's see what we got." Night of live music, and those are kind of interesting people to play to, too. I think a lot of people who would have seen the PBS series and thought, this is all from black and white films. This is from the 20s and 30s. But no, it's a tradition that keeps going and keeps getting added to. It's interesting that a lot of these forms of music that when I was really young, I didn't think were cool. Like if you play bluegrass to me, if you play a lot of the folk music, I'm not into that. But then ironically, as you get older, you end up falling back on this stuff and realize, wow, all that stuff stands the test of time, and that's really good stuff. And here I am at 32, enjoying a lot of this stuff. It's unique in that way, isn't it? I remember the legendary fiddle player and singer Dewey Balfa of the Balfa Brothers Cajun group. And in the mid-'60s, they were invited to go up to the Newport Folk Festival. And the people at home, were scared. They thought that they would embarrass themselves, and they didn't want anything to, they didn't want them to go and play, I think they called it the rinky-tink music or something that. They had the triangle and accordions and fiddles. And they went up there, and the second song, people were standing and yelling and screaming, and they came back cultural heroes, and it just brought Cajun music to, a new height. Wow! After years, and I think there's a little bit of that with people like the Whitetop Mountain Band that really want to show that this music is still alive and flourishing and is still exciting and and fun to hear and be around and dance. And
well, speaking of that, let's keep moving on through the set list here. This is Wishful Thinking up next. I see you.
Wishful Thinking is a country tune from Win Stewart from 1959. And Win was originally from Missouri but moved out to California. And there wasn't too much going on in country music out there. And he was one of the main people who got it started again, and he was very influential on Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, and later on other country artists who sort of followed the Bakersfield sound, like Dwight Yoakam, I think, was another person who was really influenced. So here's a little bit of Wishful Thinking.
Too much to be wishing for. Thinking how you once kissed me, how I wish it hadn't meant goodbye. But I guess that's wishful thinking. Now I know why some people cry. I'll just live my life in dreams and long for your love. It's you I'm wishing for, and it's you I'm thinking of. My heart echoes the love words you've spoken. How I wish that I could hear them from you. Won't you answer a heart that's broken and make my wishful thinking come true?
All right, very nice.
Yeah. Well, she's listened to it all. She also, Martha's also a DJ.
Oh, okay.
And she has a show on Radio Bristol down in, not sure which Bristol it is. If it's, I imagine it's Virginia. It's right on the border there. There are two Bristols. And what else does she do? She's been involved in a TV series going around and interviewing Appalachian craft people.
Yep.
And what else? Every time I turn around, she tells me about something else that she's doing. Oh, she's been involved with a film on fiddling. And they've just completed the film, and they're doing some showings. And I guess they have her come along and be sort of the talking head and talk about the film and do a little bit of entertaining at the same time.
Always staying busy, huh?
Yeah, it's, I don't, I ask her if she's, if she does her calendar in pencil. It seems like she's always moving around doing one thing or another.
Again, we're joined here by Ken Irwin of Rounder Records as we get you ready for a big show here Saturday night. You've been hearing a little bit of Martha Spencer there. She'll be in town with the Whitetop Mountain Band, the Bellevue Stage, 300 High Street, Newburyport. We should mention who puts on these shows because they don't happen without these groups. The Institution for Savings, which does so much in this community. The Beach Plum Flower Shop. I should stop by there today. It is my anniversary today, Ken.
Oh, congratulations.
I made it a big 3 years. That's and the Mass Cultural Council is also a sponsor for this. So Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. Again, our guest is Ken Irwin here on Afternoon Drive, Rounder Records. Ken, I wonder, you mentioned the Newport Folk Festival there earlier. I take it you've been to a few of those?
Quite a few, but going way back, the first one I hitchhiked to.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, you got to tell me that
I was
story.
a camp counselor and hitchhiked, and I got my my final ride into the festival with the head of Folk Legacy Records.
Wow.
And I had been familiar with the label, and it was just real exciting to actually meet someone who had started a record label.
Yeah, I bet. How old were you?
Probably 19, 20,
19?
somewhere in there.
And where
yeah.
were you a camp counselor?
Wow. Bob Cousy's basketball camp.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
Camp Graylag in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire. So how many hitchhike rides did it take?
Oh, it's probably about 6 or 7.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's quite a story.
Yep.
I bet that would have been right around the over-under to get there. And it's an amazing scene there. It's a beautiful scene, first of all, but just, all those great acts and still thriving today. It is a cool experience, isn't it, Newport?
Yeah, a lot of those festivals are great, but Newport's sort of special.
Yeah. I went to...
But
Newport's
these
one of my
guys have
favorite
played, they've played at Merlefest, which is, named after Doc Watson's son,
Yep.
Merle, and a major festival. They played at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival, and they've played in England, and I think it was Australia. I mean, they've really gotten around, spreading old-time music all over the world.
I wonder what
Yeah.
they would say. I ask a lot of artists this, because the festival scene, I know there's a lot of pluses and minuses. There's one of the pluses being you get to introduce your music to a whole new audience, maybe people that aren't there just to hear your music. Some of the minuses are a lot of times you got 55 minutes, get up there, get off, next band's play and go. It's kind of I don't know if it's rushed. Sometimes it feels rushed to me, the festivals.
Not only next band, but very often with them, next genre.
Yes, yeah.
So
Right.
you might have a rockabilly band or
Yeah.
a bluegrass band or a blues band. But I think that I guess my main experience with that is, I guess, both the Smithsonian Folklife Festival and Lowell Folk Festival, where you have multiple genres.
Yeah.
And both have most of the artists staying at one hotel, and you see these cross-genre jams,
Yeah.
late at night, where you have, a blues guy playing guitar, and then a Cajun person playing accordion, and
Yeah.
bluegrass guy playing fiddle, and all fitting in and enjoying and learning from each other and learning about each other's music.
Why don't you jump on stage with us tomorrow? What do you think there?
Yeah.
That's those conversations. That's where those happen, I guess. The behind the scenes stuff. Very cool. Let's keep it rolling with the music here. What do you got? Banks of the New River. Is that right? From the
Banks of the New River, and this will be Martha's mother, Emily, one of the longtime members of the Whitetop Mountain Band.
All right. Again, Saturday, 8 o'clock. This is the group you can see at the Bellevue stage in Newburyport. Take it away.
I'm sitting here on the banks of New River. The river runs wide and the river runs deep. Some places are shadowed like your love for me, darling. You've left me alone to mourn and to weep. I'm sitting alone on the banks of New River, sitting
about that? Very nice. So that is Banks of the New River there from the Whitetop Mountain Band. Again, Saturday, October 19th, this Saturday, 8 p.m., $30. I'm reading the thing here, and you can also buy tickets at Dino Records. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, that's good to know.
And
here.
online.
Yep, of course, online. So we get the Bellevue, first of all, the Bellevue ticket office is open Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 to 1. You can also go to the Bellevue Thrift Shop Wednesday and Saturday, 9 to noon. There's a little bit of a unique hours there, but 9 to noon Wednesday and Saturday there. And then you can go online, and where's that online link here? What is the, is there an online link on here? Well, you can go online. You can find, oh, there it is. Yeah. Bellevue, it's in the big print.
Right.
BellevueRoots.org. There you go.
We had it hidden.
You had it hidden. It's literally the one that's the biggest right there. It just played a trick on me. BellevueRoots.com. So there you go. Head down there, grab some tickets. $30 in advance, $35 at the door. So save some money if you're getting a bunch of them. BellevueRoots.org. Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. We're here with Ken Irwin, Rounder Records, going through some music, talking a little bit about this particular band and this music, and you're getting a good taste of it here. How many people sing in this group? They all kind of sing a little bit, or?
Well, we have one thing coming later, which is a quartet, so
Okay.
at least four.
Yeah. This genre does bring a lot of people around the mic, doesn't it? Just kind of with the bluegrass, you have a lot of voices a lot of times, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, a lot of trios, a lot of quartets, duos, solos, and they pretty much cover the gamut there.
Here's a question for people that don't always hear a lot of the bluegrass. Is there obviously it's even like a lot of jam bands, they're structured. Is there an element of jamming with the bluegrass too? You know, you take that solo and kind of do your thing with it, and you kind of play off each other. Is there that kind of on the fly element to it?
There is in bluegrass and certainly in old time.
Yeah.
But old timey is it's a little different in that a lot of times they're playing as a band, where bluegrass will have more individual solos.
Yeah.
A lot of times in old time music, they'll just. I think there was one tune we heard before where the fiddle just keeps playing, and each time they improvise off the tune, and sometimes they can play for a really long time, and it's part of the skill that they try to attain is not just to know the tune, but to be able to continue to improvise to it.
I remember my uncle telling me he used to be a fiddle player, and he would go to these. I don't even know what you call them. It was just gatherings, and you could play, and you could get up and go to the bathroom, go get a drink, go have a conversation with somebody else, and you've just passed along the next part, and they continue playing, and then you could come back to the circle and pick it right back up, and they kind of you could do that for a couple straight hours.
Right.
But it's a whole different genre. You hear that voice too. There's that whole country feel to the voice, and of course there's a lot of overlap. But it's interesting. You mentioned how country music kind of exploded there, and some of the influences that made it explode. It's odd to think of country music is so big, even in pop culture now. It's odd to think of a world where country music was still trying to be on the upswing a little bit. It's odd to think about that.
Yeah, the music that this comes from was originally sold as hillbilly music.
Yeah.
And blues was race music.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we've come quite a ways in
Thank
both
goodness.
instances.
Yeah.
But when the first 78s came out, that's how they were selling them.
What do you think is you probably have this unique perspective too. I don't remember when I was like growing up, country music being, at least in the popular culture world, like all over the radio like this. I mean, it seems like now you have like Kenny Chesney playing at Gillette Stadium and all these country music acts coming in. What do we attribute that to? Is that just people stumbling across all these big artists that are getting more radio play, or why did country music explode in this neck of the woods? Answer this question.
Yes. Well, they spent a lot of money.
Okay.
They, the Country Music Association is very active, and they really wanted to make inroads. They made efforts to buy radio stations that would play country music, and in some cases, the first time around didn't work. I know when I was growing up in New York, there wasn't one, and they tried, and they played what was called contrapolitan music, I guess it was. And it was all watered down and strings. You know, they thought they wanted to appeal to a city more sophisticated audience, and it just bombed. And I think, especially today, what people are looking for is authenticity.
Yeah.
And this, you know, on a rating of 5, these guys have 6,
A 6
or 7. You know, just it's the real deal, and that's, you know, one thing I love about it.
All right.
This is a song, the Blue Ridge Mountain Lullaby, is a song that Martha wrote, in which she was falling asleep to her father's fiddle playing, and then it sort of goes and it tells her story.
All right.
There's a little
Martha
bit of-
Spencer, Blue Ridge Mountain Lullaby.
Daddy'd light up his cigarette. Saw his fiddle pluck the strings, then tune a bit. Tell the story of days gone by, before us kids would say goodnight. I fall asleep to Daddy fiddling. Soldier's joy, ragtime Annie and Sally Gooden. Old tunes ringing through the night. Blue Ridge Mountain Lullaby.
So many of these songs must be written from this kind of real experiences, you know, growing up and being around mom and dad, or, you know, just roots and all that stuff. That's kind of what part of that authenticity, right?
the family and,
Yeah.
and values, and they write and sing about what they know.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they're not going outside, and you get the feeling that it's real, that they're really communicating what they, you know, what they feel and what they've lived.
Yeah, again, we're joined here by Ken Irwin, Rounder Records, as we get ready for Saturday Night Show. Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. How many songs do they actually? I can imagine that they have probably. I mean, you're giving us a sample size here. They have all these albums. I bet they have probably 5 times that many songs that they just write and sing around the campfires some night that is not even recorded, right?
Well, and I think it's much more in terms of what they know.
Yeah.
You know, that they, I think that Martha's father was one of those people who went around and collected tunes and songs,
Yeah.
very much like A.P. Carter did generations before. And he was sort of the expert on the music of their region and the, you know, Whitetop and thereabouts.
It must be. I've always thought whenever you have a family like this, a family group like this, it must be so cool to be brought up in that household. Like, think about just all the music in the house and waking up to parents playing, and I don't know. I just thought it must be the coolest thing.
Yeah, Martha said that, you know, she was dancing and singing while most kids were playing with blocks.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
it's just
Good way to get over
it
it.
was just it was the way of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to keep rolling here? We can do. Let's sneak in one more here. I want to make sure.
Yeah,
we
I
get
wanted to
them all.
mention that, you know, before, and one of the things that really distinguishes old time music for bluegrass is the banjo style.
Yeah.
And thought we'd play a little bit of Martha playing some clawhammer banjo, where you're coming down on the strings, and, you know, in Scruggs style, you're
Yeah.
coming up with the 3 fingers,
Gotcha.
the 2 fingers. Yeah.
All right.
So this is a little bit of Ramblin' Hobo.
So this is the part of the show where everybody gets up and dances, right? That's the that's the. And no, if you can't dance to the banjo, then I don't know. That always gets me
And
going.
fiddle's usually,
fiddle, yeah,
but
yeah.
the combination. So, they do some tunes, just fiddle and banjo,
Yeah.
and then they do, I think Martha does a couple solos, and then they do duos and trios, different combinations. So it's not, the full band on every
Yeah.
on every tune.
I can hear the clapping to the banjo in the music hall right now.
Hope they clap in time.
And yes, although they're professionals, they
Yeah.
can figure it. I'm sure they.
No, I mean the audience.
Oh, I know. No, I know. But it's funny. I have been to shows where that has like, that's not. I don't know what it is. It's whether the acoustics or I don't know. You can't. Maybe it's delayed or something. But that is not in time.
Right.
But and then every now and then you get a laugh from the musicians or things just don't work out. But again, this is ahead of Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band, Saturday, October 19th. This Saturday, 8 p.m. Get there a little early. As Ken was saying earlier, we get some pre-events there going on. Advanced
The
tickets,
clog
$30.
dancing
Clog
lessons
dancing.
at 7:30.
7:30. Is that going to be? So just go right to the front door. Just walk into the show. It's going to be.
I think it'll probably be in the left hand for the smaller venue. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now I know what you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Again, you can get tickets for Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band at BellevilleRoots.org, or you can go to the ticket office or the Belleville Thrift Shop or Dino Records, which is we're big fans of them as well. You buy a lot of records still?
I have a jukebox, and
you have a jukebox in your house?
And I mainly get 45s. That's mainly what I
Wow.
listen to these days.
So do you do most of your listening off the jukebox?
Quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a unique little
It's sort
fun
of
fact.
it's sort of funny because other people, are sort of catching up to that now that people are listening to singles instead of albums, and
Yeah.
with a jukebox, that's what it always is.
What is it about albums? And we might have talked about this a little bit last time, but what is it about albums that it's like coming back? Like albums are cool again. Like the actual big albums, they're cool again.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I think people just like to have something that they can hold in their hands, and like to have the liner notes in front of them. And if you look at the poster, you like to see what the people look like, and something about them, and it's a tactile, and it's much more informative than just clicking on a link and
yeah, It is
going on.
It is interesting. I like them. I got a bunch of them still in my room that I hang out there. But anyway, actually, we got a bunch of them right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of albums right behind me.
Yeah, I interrupted my cleaning of 45s. A friend dropped off a whole bunch of 45s yesterday, and I was cleaning them all off. They'd been in a barn,
Oh,
and though they're mostly cleaned, I still have about 30 or 40 to go.
you don't see too many jukeboxes even in like the restaurants these days. You have the the things you can play off the app now. Have you seen this where you can be at a bar and you can kind of dial in and Bluetooth it and you can play off the whatever they call it.
Yeah, mine's a beautiful 1953 AMI, and the real thing.
I can pick the real thing, the authentic.
Yeah, and timeless. That's another thing about this music. It's music that goes back at this point close to 100 years in terms of recording. The earliest, the main Big Bang was 1927, I think.
Yeah.
And there was some old time music recorded before then. This is a song that Martha wrote that seems, again, timeless. It's called My Heart Says Yes.
My heart says yes. All right, you all good there, Lily? We'll keep rolling. Give her 1 second to set it up. There you go. You got it.
My heart says yes, my mind says no. My heart says I love you, my mind says let you go. For I'm a lost soul, traveling the lost highway. I see heartaches and woes in my future days. You're like the brightest star on a summer night, so full of hope
picture this music in this venue. I think, what do we say, 400 seat venue this is here. This is it's kind of a nice intimate setting to see the Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain
many
Band.
people.
Well, yes, but it is it's a cool venue for them, and I don't know. Hopefully, get out there and try to see them Saturday night, October 19th, this Saturday, 8 p.m. And again, tickets are only $30. Get them right now. So that's a good steal for this kind of band. I know you agree with that, Ken, but that's
we're really fortunate here to have great music right around the corner instead of having to, drive all the way into Boston or not going to find this kind of music in Boston even, but to drive down to Virginia or North Carolina is a little bit more expensive.
How do they do their touring? Do they are they traveling all around right now, or how
I'm not sure. I think they travel in a van, but I'm not sure. We'll find out very soon.
That's right. The van life of traveling. I mean, that's, I'm sure they kind of, bands like this sometimes live for that, travel the country and write and go play their music. But that can be a grind too sometimes. It's for bands as much as they love getting out there on tour. Tour life can be a grind, can it? It can.
You drive. Everything that you do is for that hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you don't think about the booking or the travel and dealing with. I think they're playing up in Maine on Thursday, so they're probably going to be driving through that bad weather. Tomorrow. So
on to the next city.
Hopefully. So one area we haven't really dealt with in terms of what they're doing is the gospel, and here was a traditional song, I think, called Green Pastures.
All right. There you go. We'll let Lily set that up here. Green Pastures. Again, the Whitetop Mountain Band, Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band here on Joppa Afternoon Drive.
And trials often betray those on in the weary body to stray. But we shall walk beside the still waters with the good shepherd leading the way. Going up home to live in green pastures where we shall live and die nevermore. Even the Lord will be in that number when we have reached that heavenly shore. Those who have strayed were sought by the Master. He who once gave his life for his sheep. Out on the mountain, still he is searching, bringing them in forever to keep. Going up home to live in green pastures where we shall live and die nevermore. Even the Lord will be in that number when we have reached that heavenly shore.
All right, there you go. Another taste of Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band there on Joppa Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. Again, we're joined by my guest, Ken Irwin of Roundry Records, part of one of the powers behind this show here on Saturday night. BellevilleRoots.org. Get your tickets there. Go to the Belleville office, ticket office, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 1. morning hours to get there for that. You can also go to the Belleville Thrift Shop Wednesday and Saturday, 9 to noon, or Dino Records, which another good way to get
In
your
the
tickets.
thrift shop, by the way, is on Chapel Street, on that corner and the side entrance.
Cool. And one more mention of the sponsors here, because again, we like these things that the sponsors put on and that you really can't do without the sponsorship. So Institution for Savings, Beach Plum Flower Shop, and the Mass Cultural Council. Those are your sponsors for this show, so I know you guys appreciate them.
And just want to mention the next show as well will be the Steel Drivers, won a Grammy, the last record they made.
Oh, okay.
So we'll come back in about a month, or actually it's going to be sooner, but I'll come back in a couple weeks and talk about that one.
We got EJ Ouellette on actually our show here coming up Thursday, who is a Grammy has a Grammy vote, which is kind of a cool story. He's on the voting committee. Have you ever seen how that process works? That seems to be must be a cool thing to be a part of. I don't know. I've never had a Grammy vote. But
Yep.
That's the
for a while, number of years, I was on Grammy screening committee.
Oh, okay.
Which would listen to all the entries and decide if they were in the right category, and if something didn't fit into the category that I was involved with, then you send it to another room, and there are a bunch of experts in the other room, and they listen and either accept it or send it back or send it someplace else.
That's a no-win situation, because it's not like this is not math music. This is, some of these things are, people hear things differently, and I know there's some structure to some of these
There's a
things.
question, like for this band, there isn't a Grammy for old-time music, so should it be part of folk music, or should it be part of bluegrass?
Yeah.
Or should it be part of Americana roots, which would include Cajun and Zydeco and polka and other regional music? So it's
yeah, you can if you don't fit into that nice little box, it can be kind of tough to get your
so it could be any of the three.
Interesting. What's the that's kind of a lot of pressure being in that room trying to figure out the right answer, right?
Yep.
You want to do these artists justice, but
And sometimes there's no right answer.
Yeah.
You know, just do what you can.
That's interesting. I
So
mean,
anyway, I
that's-
hope to see a lot of you there. This should be a really fun show, and very entertaining, great energy. Martha's a fantastic dancer, and I don't know if you'd call her a comic or not, but she has a little bit of that June Carter Cash, you know,
personal.
enjoying life
Yes.
attitude.
That actually comes across in a lot of this music too. And you come spend a nice little Saturday night. The show starts at 8. You come in, you get your dinner downtown, pick a million places to pick from. There you go. You walk on
Eat
over.
early so you can come for the dancing at
That's
7:30.
right, 7:30. Make sure early, Ken. Jeez,
Yes.
that's late for me these days. We can eat at a very normal hour and still get there for 7:30. I'm just kidding. A little hint into my social life there, I guess, these days. No, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Going to be fun. Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. Lily, why don't we fire that last song here as we go out? We got was it "Walking in My Sleep"?
Yep.
Is the one that we were going to end with here. Again, the Whitetop Mountain Band, Saturday, October 19th. You can play that Lily album, mix it in and out if you just want to keep it rolling. The Belleville stage, 300 High Street, Newburyport. That's how you put it into your GPS. I know everybody's always like, if you're out of town, I know a lot of people watch it on YouTube, not familiar with Newburyport. Throw that into the GPS, come in, you're going to see some good, authentic music. Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. Are you going to be there, Ken? You're going to head into the show?
Absolutely.
You'll be there, all right. If you see Ken, make sure you go say hello. Obviously, as you noticed here, he's a very, very interesting guy. Tell you a lot of stories. Tell you anything you want to know about this band, right? You got all the answers?
I'll have a lot more after Saturday. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely, should be fun. Why don't you, one last, any advice for people that want to maybe thinking iffy on the show? What would be your last pitch to tell them, you know what, make sure you get over there?
Come on along. It'll be a great evening of fun.
Absolutely. All right, some good old-fashioned live music. 8 p.m. Get your tickets at BellevilleRoots.org or at the Belleville Ticket Office, the Belleville Thrift Shop, or Dino Records. Again, big thanks to Ken Irwin here, Rounder Records. Ken, always a pleasure to talk to you. I know you've been busy with this show. Good luck with it on Saturday. We hope you guys have a lot of fun, and we'll have you on again to talk some music, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll play this
Thank you
one
very much.
We'll play this one as we go out. This is Walking in My Sleep, Whitetop Mountain Band.
Walking in my sleep, up and down the Dixie line, walking in my sleep.
Martha Spencer and the Whitetop Mountain Band. Make sure you check them out Saturday night right here in Newburyport. We'll see you Thursday, everybody. EJ Ouellette is on the show. Going to want to tune in. My name's Drew Moholland. Thank you, Lily Dessette, Tyler Neufeld. We'll see you Thursday.